This is the third one, and this one's really important. I call it the 3 levels of reach. And this is what I believe is one of the most important things for a leader as far as relationships go. Okay. Because as a leader, how many of you have ever heard the term "it's lonely at the top"? Show me some jazzies. How many of you have ever experienced the quote, "it's lonely at the top"? Now, here's why it can be lonely at the top. Okay. Because at the top, you as the leader, how many of you are every single day trying to motivate and inspire followers on either Facebook or Instagram or maybe both? Show me jazzies. We're trying to motivate them and add value to them and be the person they fall in love with so they'll eventually sign up, right? Then they become customers, some of them, right? And then we're working every single day on motivating all of these customers, right? We've now got two brackets of people that we're reaching down to. And then we've got a team that we're trying to mentor. So we're spending probably most of you 98% of our time reaching down. Now, if you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, what is that doing to you? If you spend 98% of your time reaching down, again, you're here, they're here. Maybe you were trying to pull them up, but if you spent 98% of your time trying to run errands back and forth from where they are to where you are, you're getting caught in the middle somewhere. Because 98% of your time is spent listening to people who are saying things like, "I don't have time. I don't have the money. I don't have enough energy. I don't have enough confidence. I'm not outgoing enough. I don't have enough followers." What are low level performers doing? Basically, a lot of negative affirmations all day and night that we call excuses, correct? What happens when you spend 98% of your time listening to negative affirmations? They start to get stuck in your head. Now, maybe you're doing enough personal growth that you don't actually believe it for yourself. Maybe you're able to keep kind of like trucking along. Nope, I'm a motivated badass. I am awesome. I'm amazing. But what can happen that I've seen a lot is you get to the point where you convince yourself that there's no one else out there that's as motivated as you. And you're going to be stuck alone at the top for the rest of your life. And no matter how many people you recruit, none of them are going to be hardworking. None of them are going to be dedicated. No. And what you start to do is actually convince yourself that you're going to fail as a leader before you even have a chance to try. How many of you know enough about mindset and how it works to know that if you convince yourself that you fail before you try, it's destined to fail? You don't even have a chance if you've already convinced yourself. Now, you might be able to do some of the right actions. You might be able to bring some people in, but it's not going to go well when you've already set yourself up for failure. So here's what I believe a healthy leadership life looks like. We reach down. Okay. We have to, obviously, we have to help the people under us. That's what makes us a leader, right? But then we also reach out to the people next to us. And this is where we have a group of colleagues. In other words, this is people at our level that are out there doing the shit we're doing. And something happens when you get around these people. And some of you've experienced this from being at a Super Saturday or being at a summit, back when that kind of stuff happened in person. If you've ever been to a live event or a team retreat, there is something magical that happens when like-minded people come together. There is like this wave of energy that none of us really know how to understand. It just happens. And in my opinion, one of the reasons for it is because you get a bunch of growth-oriented people together and everybody starts sharing about their wins. Their win feeds into you and your win feeds into them. And before you know it, we're all more confident and exciting about the opportunities that we have in front of us. And we start to grow together instead of being dragged down. One of the girls in my Push Elite at a retreat that we had last January before the world shut down, she was sitting around the pool and she said, I'm just now realizing after 6 years of coaching that I have been trying to use my downline for the community and support that I needed. And I'm just now realizing that the girls in this group, this was the Push Elite girls, you're my community of support, not the people below me. I can lean on you and you can, and this is where true community, I'm not supposed to need community from the people under me. I'm supposed to provide it. I'm supposed to go get my own community. And so I've actually challenged people in the Push Elite to say this. Here's the thing. We are your team. I don't care whose downline you're under. What does that matter? Like, team doesn't have to like make sense on paper or the back office. Like, we are each other's team. And what if we all just lean into each other, share team calls, run Push for Diamond groups together, run Push for Emerald groups together? What if we just all say, we are a team and we're going to do this together until I can raise up enough people to have my own team? Because I'm sure after my analogy of fans versus players, how many of you realized you don't really have very many teammates right now? You got a whole lot of people in the stadium that are VIP fans, but like, honestly, I don't even have a fucking team. The bad news to that is you don't have a fucking team. Okay. The good news is you can still have a team that you do things with to create more momentum, to create more energy. Because one thing is for sure, it's going to be an uphill battle if you're trying to host team calls with 3 or 4 people. There's never going to be enough energy or excitement for new people to even want to stick around, right? You go to all this work to recruit new people and they're so excited and you're like, this company is amazing. And we go on cruises and we go on trips and it's awesome. And here's a girl that's always thought MLM was a scam, but she fell in love with you. And so she was willing to give it a chance. And then she gets on a team call and there's 3 of you hanging out. And she's like, what the fuck? I thought this was like a big company that did like free cruises. And you're telling this group of 3 people right here, this is who does the free cruises. Like, which one of you is paying for this? Right. So in my opinion, momentum and surrounding, you're going to recruit some new people this year. Okay. Let's make sure they actually have an environment to come into that helps keep them around. Because otherwise, we're going to give away our best rock stars to just not having anything for them. And if there's one thing you do not want to do, it's lose your rock stars, because only a couple of them come around. And if you don't have something ready to go for them, that's a bad thing. And that's why we need people on our level so that we can pool our resources together and provide momentum and energy together. One of the things that I do in the Push Elite is your whole team gets invited to a couple calls per month that I personally speak on. One of them is an evening call. One of them is a daytime call. And we come together for a Push Elite call and there's like 150 people on there and everybody's excited and the energy is high. And this is, again, a way that you're showing new people you are a part of something bigger. Does that make sense? Now, the third way you have to reach, we reach down, we reach out, but I do believe everyone also has to reach up. And here's why. You need someone in your life that's willing to challenge you to go to your next level. Now, people at your level are a great support system. They're great to share resources with and energy. But here's the other thing that they can do sometimes. Oh, it's okay, girl. You're just having a bad month. It's okay. I love you. Everything's gonna be all right. Now, you need that from somebody, right? Like everybody needs that. Like, we need a couple people in our like amen corner. But you also need someone that says it's time to step the fuck up. You've been playing small for too long. You've been using that excuse for too long. You've been letting that goal slip away for too long. If this is what you said you were going to do, let's go do it. And that's one of the number one reasons people work with me specifically is I'm just like an in your face, no BS kind of person. And if that's not what you want or need in your life, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, I am the wrong person. And that's okay. Like, I'm not looking for everybody to join my groups. I'm not. Like, if you don't vibe with me and you don't like want tough love, if you don't want someone to challenge you to go to the next level, I'm the wrong fucking guy, because that's all I do over and over and over and over and over. But if you're someone who says, I need that in my life, I need someone to challenge me, I need someone to help me level up and take the next step, then I'm just going to tell you, I don't mean this in any arrogant way, but I believe I'm one of the best in the world at challenging people to go to the next level. And that to me is why the Push Elite is so powerful, because you're going to get surrounded with this group and this energy full of support, full of other people. Like if we went to the chat thread right now, they're sharing graphics for the next launch. Anything that someone's like, hey, does anybody have any stories graphics for the next launch? Oh, yep, 3 people pop it in with graphics they already made. Hey, does anybody have any good ideas for a team call around like branding? Oh, yep, here's a team call that I did. Hey, does anybody have a good podcast to share with their team when they're struggling with this? Oh, yep. And it's just constant sharing of tools and resources. The one thing I do ask is that if you join our community, that you be a giver, not a taker. Okay. Please don't be the kind of person that comes in and whines about your problems. We don't deal with that. You got enough of that you got to deal with in your own team page. We don't want that shit in our group. If you're someone who whines and complains about your problems, we don't want you. Okay. Now, here's what you can do. You can ask for help. I always tell people like, it's totally okay to need help as long as you come in solution oriented. In other words, it's okay to come in and say, hey guys, I'm having a shitty month. But it better go to, does anybody have a good podcast to help me get fired up? Does anybody have like a good tip that you have personally used when you're going through this in your life? Because we go through bad times and that's okay. Totally okay. I want it to be a place of support as long as you have the mentality of what can I do to get out of this place and get to a better place? Because that's the focus of the group. Does that make sense? So the Push Elite is the group that is bringing that level of community, bringing that level of fire, bringing that level of energy. And as a result, I mean, like testimonials are just flying left and right. This group is something that I have more confidence in than basically any group I've ever ran because it has like an 85% success rate. Okay. 85% success rate. And when I say that, I don't mean 85% of people going elite. I mean 85% of people increasing their income. And when I say increase, I don't mean from like $1,000 a month to $1,200 a month. I mean from like $1,000 a month to like $2,500 a month. Talking people from like 2,500 a month to like 4,000 a month. I'm talking people are like doubling, tripling, and sometimes even quadrupling their income inside this group because this is what happens when you surround yourself with this kind of energy, with this kind of belief. Okay. And that part, let me just tell you, the intangible of that alone is almost impossible to even show or tell. The only way I know how to say it is it's like going to New Leaders Conference and never having to go home. I mean, have you ever been to a live event and you're like, I wish I could just take this energy with me everywhere? That's what the Push Elite is like. And that's one of the reasons people's numbers are just jumping so high. Because imagine if you just woke up every single day with 3 times the amount of energy and confidence. What would you produce in your business if you had 3 times the amount of energy and confidence like if you had summit level energy every single day? How many of you are like that? I mean, that alone would blow up my business. My God, like my posts would be more fire. My stories would be more fire. My invites would be more fire. My team calls, literally everything in your life would go from being like a 7 out of a 10 to a 10 out of 10. And when you churn up every single area in your business from 7 out of 10 to 10 out of 10, magical shit starts to happen that sometimes you don't even understand why.